Welcome to April 2021. Are you ready to come to Thailand in April? Listen to what I'm going to say. You probably ready and many of you probably not ready. สวัสดีค่ะ It's me, Teya, Suchira. If you want to know more about Thailand, please make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you will not miss anything about my country. As I mentioned with you before, that Thailand is planning to totally reopen the country in January of 2022. So this year, 2021, April is the first month that they are starting slowly to let the tourists to come into Thailand. But firstly, still is not really completely ready. That is why many of you guys get a lot of confused information. Are you confused? Don't worry. Not just you who's confused. Me too. It's just because of I don't know what to say. But first of all, let me tell you one thing. When you have information from many months ago, please don't keep that information. You have to listen of the information day by day. Really day by day. It's just because if you saw me post about I just spent a day to pick only a mango. Before I picked the mango with my mother, I felt like, okay, I'm done. I have everything is all ready. Just only a few more days and it's going to be the 1st of April and it's gonna be okay. Just only one day things change. But anyway, before I make this report, it's changed again. So I'm very happy. That is why I told you that please don't keep the old information that you've heard last year or a week ago or anything. Everything is keep changing, and I totally understand that why they change. They change for better, and of course, if it keep changing, but it's better, I don't mind to lose face. And if people would laugh at Thailand, I understand. But if I were a person who have to make a decision and it's quite risky decision, I don't mind to hear anyone to blame about Thailand. The thing is, when you hear about the quarantine, Thailand right now is definitely going to reduce our quarantine for 14 days to be 10 days, and it's already got a royal cassette. Does it call royal cassette? Royal Gazette today. And the hotel business, they already got notification that we are definitely going to reduce to be 10 days. But about the 7 days, have you heard about it? I mentioned about 7 days with you in the previous video, and of course 7 days they're going to do in the 6 tourist destinations. They still talk about it, but 7 days that you probably heard from information from any other sources, right now they are not confirmed yet. Today the Ministry of the Public Health gave an interview to the media that actually the 7 days that we talk about, we firstly wanted to focus to only Thai people. This is what a Minister of the Public Health said it today. So it means that 7 days quarantine is probably would start it to have it a try with Thai people first. And the reason that they wanted to do with Thai people first, it's just because of we are more confident about the vaccination and passport vaccine or a vaccine certificate, because they have a record that okay, this person come to do a vaccine already and everything. This is a record by Thailand, and just in case anybody travel abroad and then come back again, those kind of people, when they use QR code, Thailand have the same system, so Thailand feel more confident to let Thai people who already got a vaccine to come back and have 7 days quarantine first. But I believe that after you have guarantee or any standard of international passport vaccine, which I've heard that IATA, they're going to start to do it, and also in the same time, Thailand is waiting to hear from the WHO about this kind of standard. So after the WHO started to have this vaccine guarantee certificate, I believe that Thailand can be connected with that guarantee. I think they are afraid that people will buy a fake vaccine passport or something like that. I guess so. They would rather do with Thai people who get vaccine first. So I believe that April would be still hustle, confused. I think it's going to be like that. But after that, April, June, July is going to be better and better. But in case you are come here in April, you would definitely have to quarantine for 10 days. If you ask me like how could you believe me that when you arrive here in Bangkok, you got to quarantine for 10 days? Are you sure, Teya? It is not 7 days? For myself, I hear it from English, Thai government speaking in English. So I think you probably want to hear by your own ears. By your own ears, so I'm going to show you.
Thailand will be relaxing COVID-19 measures starting 1st of April. And these are going to be significant relaxation of measures to facilitate more incoming travels into Thailand. The shortening, so you see on the screen right now, we will have, first of all, the shortening of the quarantine period for incoming tourists and travelers. Instead of 14 days, this will be reduced to 10 days for most countries, with the exception of those entering Thailand from 11 COVID-19 variant countries.
This is what she said. She said that 10 days for most of countries, and also the countries of the one which is come from the new strain country, which is from Africa, and 11 countries only. And it could be some other country, but they don't mention. They only mention 11 countries. And some of you mentioned that, Teya, you should mention my country. The Thai embassy tell us like that. I don't know about it, because this is what I've been told from the official news in Thailand. But if you've been told by the Thai embassy in your country, you probably have to listen to them, not me, because I only get information from Thailand. So it means that, I believe it means that each country still need to recheck again with the Thai embassy. Especially you can be aware if you come from the country which is new strain. I think you know about it, like which country. So you may want it to recheck again with Thai embassy that, are you sure I can do a quarantine 10 days as Thailand said? Because Thailand mentioned only 11 countries. I'm not in the list. How about me? You said this, they said that. Please go to fight with them. And please let me know too what they say about it, okay? Today they explained a little bit clear. They said that how it's called 11 nights or 10 nights or anything like that. They said that if you arrive Thailand from midnight until 6 o'clock in the evening, they're calling that day as a day one, okay? But if you arrive here after 6 o'clock, they're calling as its next day. It means that if you arrive here later than 6 o'clock, you got to count the next day as day one. You understand? Yeah, you understand. Talk easily. It means that if you arrive Bangkok later than 6 p.m., you got to stay 1 night extra. So it depending on your flight. If it were you, I would check the flight first before I starting to book the hotel quarantine. Otherwise, you would be confused how many nights. Or if you book the hotel quarantine first and your flight is having some problem, you probably can talk with the hotel later, because I'm quite pretty sure that they would organize something like that for you, because they would understand it's very confusing about the quarantine days at the moment. So that's why right now the price of the 7 days quarantine for ASQ Hotel right now, they don't have any price at all, because they're waiting for another Royal Gazette for being announced officially that okay, we definitely would have 7 days, but right now they do not have it yet. So any of you coming here in April and you would like to make a booking of the ASQ Hotel, no matter where in Thailand, and also insurance, again, it doesn't mean you have to pay 100,000 US dollar. You just pay the price of how many days you're coming to stay. So price is going to be different. If you want to get this information, you can write email to me and Stella will just get back to you. Okay. And also again, as I mentioned to you, that April is going to be the first month that we are going to start to reduce a quarantine at 6 tourist destinations. And right now Phuket is starting to do a vaccination, and we still haven't heard a price of 7 days quarantine yet. So if you would like to wait, please wait, because I believe that right now they're just very busy to just manage everything. And for the quarantine, when we reduce the quarantine, we do have activities for you. As I mentioned before, again, that you don't have to only stay and sit in your hotel room. You can do activities inside that hotel. You can do swimming, you can swim in swimming pool, you can do exercise, any activities in a hotel, which is quite good, not too stressful, I hope. So 10 days is going to be firstly in April, and when they have update, they say that they're going to do updating every month. So hopefully, if you don't come here next month, hopefully June it would be something a bit clear. But if you are in a rush coming here first before other tourists, definitely 10 days quarantine if you come to Bangkok. And for 6 destinations, when you ask me that, how about if you do a quarantine after 7 days quarantine in a hotel, can you go to another city? Yes, you can go to another city. And July, August, September, if you come to 6 tourist destinations, only one city, only Phuket. You just only stay in Phuket. You don't have to do a quarantine in a hotel, but only stay in Phuket for 7 days. During 7 days, if you are still good, happy, strong, after 7 days, you can go anywhere you like. Okay, as I just make a joke with you the other day about you can go to Mars and then you can come back. Again, you can go anywhere. And when you go to another city and another city, no more quarantine. Okay, I think the question that you want to know, do you have to quarantine when you go that way? You have quarantine when you arrive that city? No. I think a person who asked me this question, it's just because you keep following news of Thailand a lot, and once when it's a lot, you mix them all, just like som tam. No, you cannot mix it like Thai food. You have to forget about it. Okay, just have to forget about the old information. You have to stay day by day with the present information, because it keeps changing depending on the situation of COVID-19. The reason that before, when you travel to another city, you must quarantine is just because Thailand, we had quite bad situation of the COVID-19, and right now we can control it, so that's why we can travel freely anywhere, except anybody who travel abroad. Coming to Thailand, we still need you to do a quarantine first, but they already relaxed doing a quarantine. And also, if you enter here in April, you don't need to have fit to fly anymore. You still need to have COVID-19 certificate, even though you already get a vaccine. And a person who come to 6 tourist destinations, you do need to have a complete 2 doses of the vaccination. And even though you have a complete vaccine, you need to have COVID-19 certificate as well. And they said that in the plan, if in the future, let's say that in the future, maybe in April or maybe next month, if the government change to do a 7 days quarantine, whether in Bangkok or anything, the plan for 7 days quarantine, they said that a person who can do 7 days quarantine, they need to have a vaccine for completely 2 doses and within 14 days before flying to Thailand. And also when they arrive here, they still need to do a test, RT-PCR test. They're going to do a test on the day 5 or day 6. And for a person who's Thai, if Thai people come here, Thai people don't need to have fit to fly certificate. They also don't need to have COVID-19 certificate. So Thai people will have a test more than foreigner. When Thai arrive here, they need to do swab first on the first day, and also another time at day 1 and day 6. And a person who come here and do a quarantine for 10 days, 10 days people is for a person who don't do a vaccine, a person who do a vaccine but not complete yet. For example, you have to come here before, after you do a vaccine for only first time and the second time you haven't done it yet, or if you already done for 2 doses but it's less than 14 days, you do need to have a quarantine for 10 days. So if you are completely 14 days, 2 doses, but you come here in April, still 10 days quarantine. I hope you understand, because right now, 7 days quarantine in April for Bangkok. They just mentioned only they hope to have only Thai people first, and until the vaccine certificate guarantee, they would consider to have you guys to come here and have a quarantine for only 7 days. So hopefully as soon as possible. For 10 days quarantine, they're going to have tests for 2 times on the day 3 to 5 or again at day 9 to day 10. And a person who come here and you have to do a quarantine for 14 days, which is the list of the 11 countries that I mentioned before in a previous video. And you have to do a swab RT-PCR for 3 times. First one at the day 1 when you arrive here, and the second one is a day 6 to day 7, and the last one is a day 12 or day 13. And after you all, no matter how many days you quarantine, 7 days, 10 days or 14 days, after that you still need to have an application which they can follow you for another 14 days just to make sure that everything is all completely perfect. This is all the plan about entering Thailand. This is very complicated coming here by this time. In April, June, it's quite complicated because you still do need to quarantine this and that. But I believe that in July is going to be much easier because people will start to get more vaccinations in Thailand. In the same time, they're going to learn more the system about how to reopen the country. And again, for Thai people and the media in Thailand, we keep saying that July open, no quarantine, July open, no quarantine. So this is what Thai people hear almost every day. So people are starting to be aware that, okay, foreigners are coming here in July without quarantine. Thailand is starting to reopen the country. So it means that during right now, April, June is going to be a little bit complicated for a foreigner. But if you can wait until July, it's going to be easier. And hopefully, every month they will just keep improve how to get you into the country. So today is the information that I wanted to assure with you that this is going to be like that. So in case you really want to come to Thailand this month for anything, for any reason, you're welcome, but just prepare yourself, make up your mind. You possibly have to do a quarantine for 10 days. And for a person who wants to do a quarantine for 7 days, you got to go to 6 tourist destination cities. But again, I'm not sure if they're ready, because today I do check the hotel price. They still don't have the price for 7 days quarantine yet. So you may have to wait. And if I hear any update about 7 days quarantine in April, I'm going to tell you about it. Today I talk a little bit slow. I hope that you can understand a little bit better. Again, I just want to remind you that my channel is not a new channel. If you're going to see me talking like this, quite boring, I understand. But it's just all about, I'm trying to get you to travel into the country. And hopefully after everything's all back to normal, you will see me pick the mango more often. You will see me play with dogs and everything more often. It's not going to be like this all the time. But in case you are interested to learn about Thailand, you want to know anything about Thailand, please make sure to subscribe my channel, because this is what I have is Thai things for. I want you to learn about Thai culture, Thai people, and everything about my country clearly, because my professional is a licensed tourist guide. So please make sure to subscribe so you will learn Thailand a lot more. And if you have any question, you're more than welcome. Just write down a comment and I will just get an answer for you. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you appreciated with my information today, you feel like you want to support my channel, you want to buy me a coffee, you can have a look in description how to buy me a coffee. And if you want to support me and Stella, who also in a same trouble, which is unemployed from tourism, you can make a booking of the insurance with us and also hotel quarantine with us, and anything about tourism in Thailand, you're more than welcome to just write email to me, and we will try our best to support you. Thank you so much again. Now I go for real. I'll see you next time very soon. สวัสดีค่ะ สวัสดี